Hey friends, I came across the most interesting feature in a story that I read this week. I was reading through a Priscilla Shirer devotional book and I saw this and I thought, this is too good not to share. And so I don't know if you remember the story of Joshua and the children of Israel when they're crossing the Jordan River to go into the promised land. Maybe you've read it before. It's in Joshua chapter 3. But there's an interesting phrase in here that I don't think I'd ever noticed before. And I want to mention it to you. And there's some great takeaways here. It says this. It says, it was the harvest season and the Jordan was overflowing its banks. But as soon as the feet of the priests who were carrying the ark touched the water at the river's edge, the water above that point began backing up a great distance at a town called Adam. Now that phrase, at a great distance, is an interesting phrase because it's not just a little bit up the river. I don't know about you, but I know when I was going through Sunday school and as a child seeing those pictures of the river, I remember thinking that God just opened it up and it was a great divide and the people just walked through. But when you read the story, you notice that God started working 30 miles upstream. That town of Adam, where he started stopping the water, was actually 30 miles upriver. He was working way upriver in the lives of the children of Israel. And then the water below actually went into the Dead Sea. And so God's work was extensive for them to cross. And you know, I begin to think about there's a great takeaway in this story. God is working upriver in my life and in yours today as well. And in places we may not see or hear him, he's always at work in us and through us and with us. God's at work. You know, he may be quietly orchestrating some event in your life that you're not aware of, or changing a situation that you've been praying about for a long time. It could be he's managing some currents or stopping up some rivers, and we don't even have an idea he's doing that. He may be touching that hard heart of that relative or that spouse or that person we've been praying about for a long time, and we're just not yet aware. He may be healing a broken place in you or in me, and we don't even notice. God is always at work, and we may have no idea that he's doing these things. I was thinking about a John Piper quote, maybe you've heard it. He said, God is always doing 10,000 things or more in our lives at one point, and we may be aware of 3 of them. Isn't that crazy? So here's the encouragement for you and for me today. Just because we can't see God working, and just because we can't hear him or feel him or sense him, it doesn't mean that he's not at work. He is always at work in our lives. In fact, Isaiah 45:15 in the Message says this. It says, clearly you are a God who works behind the scenes, God of Israel, Savior God. So today, it's just a simple devotion. Here's my prayer for you. I'm praying that you and I will trust God more. I'm praying that even when we don't see what he's doing, we don't hear him, we don't feel him, we don't sense him, here's the promise. If he can stop up the waters 30 miles upriver for those children of Israel, he can perform a miracle in my life and in your life as well. In fact, God might be doing his miracle right now, and we're just not aware. So can I encourage you today? Hold on. Today is not the day to quit. And I've put this devotion, I typed it up and I've got a little handout for you. I'll put this in the comments section below. I've started sharing these devotions on Sunday afternoons. And if this has encouraged you, would you let me know? You can leave me a comment whether you see this live or you see this later. But if you'll leave me a comment below, I'd love to pray for you. I'd love to know that you were encouraged. And I want you to know that I'm praying for you this week, and that we'll do this again next Sunday. So thank you for joining me. It's good to see some of you. And I'm praying that God is going to bless you and give you hope that he is at work in your life, even when you can't see him.